I'm Taya and this is Mana. I'm 37 and I have 4 kids. Mana is 2 months old.
Can you tell me what was going on for you around the time that we connected and sort of talking about aware parenting? You were still pregnant at the time. What resonated with you about it?
Yeah, I was curious. Even though I have 3 children, I feel like we can always learn more. And me and my partner had a very challenging situation because we got to know each other and we got pregnant pretty quickly. So we were going through a lot of challenges. And yeah, and then you offered support. And I took that as a sign to go deeper. It's something that when it's done in communion, like the whole family or other people that are involved, it becomes incredibly powerful. One part of my motivation was that my partner get the support because for him it's the first baby. So I have 3 children from another man and it's very different. I have a lot of experience, but he didn't. Because of that, because I had that motivation that he learns it, I learned so much again too. And I also felt very held, which is probably what I needed most.
And what about it resonated with you?
I resonated with aware parenting because I know how important it is at the beginning where they learn they are safe. I did a little with my other children, but more with the last one, the crybaby, intuitively, not knowing what I was doing, but I was overwhelmed. I was feeling a lot of shame and guilt. I wasn't feeling healthy in it. Even though I was holding space, aware parenting gave me the key to feel confident. They have to release emotions and need us to be there to feel safe.
Can you share what you were thinking about yourself with your previous baby when your baby was crying a lot and you didn't know what was going on?
I was told he was a crybaby. He cried every day from 3 to 8. He started at 2 weeks and he did that for 5 months. Then he stopped from one moment to the next. And so I knew he's a crybaby. And I was told just leave him, put him down and leave the room so you resource yourself. I mostly didn't do that. I was holding him while my other kids were running around me. I was cooking, I was doing whatever, but I wasn't fully giving him attention. When I was giving him attention, I felt so much pain. Instead of separating myself from being connected, but separating in the way of he's going through something and I'm holding him. I'm here with him and I'm holding the space inside of me so he can just experience his emotions. I was judging the emotions as bad. The moment we judge, we take it on ourselves. And then we feel like I was feeling it. I was feeling it all. And I was feeling so sad and so frustrated and so angry. And it's very difficult to hold space for somebody else if we are feeling all these things. In the last 7 years, a lot has changed. And I learned a lot about myself. It's a continuous progress if you haven't learned it as a child. But because of that, now I'm actually capable of doing that without having to judge his emotions all the time. Aware parenting gave me the okay to just be there. Sometimes we'd have to cry. Then it's done and we're free of it. Life is difficult and it passes. It gets better.
Yeah.
We don't have to hold on. Aware parenting is more than just dealing with a baby's cry. It's healing for the whole family, for everyone involved. Because the moment we are holding space for our child, we're also holding space for our inner child. It's like a meditation.
It becomes like that, and it's incredibly powerful. And at the beginning, it's quite hard, but when you actually understand all the things that you understand now and the science behind it and how crying is a healing mechanism, you no longer feel like, oh, I'm doing something wrong just because my baby's crying. You just know that as long as their needs are met, they're healing and doing what they need to do for themselves. We can just be there and witness it better than thinking we're doing something wrong. What was happening in your life and family when you suggested I have a session with your partner?
The topic of holding each other through emotions has been beginning since we met. And we were both more capable of doing that when I wasn't pregnant, but in the pregnancy, because we just met, we were getting to know each other. I'm not the best pregnant person. When I'm pregnant, I get very disempowered. I have a lot of moments of disempowerment, physically not being 100% and needing a lot of sleep. I'm usually a power, let's go, let's do this person. And that moment, I can't. And I get frustrated. I have a lot of emotions. I felt this would help him in that context to do that with himself, with me, and then to prepare himself for what is about to come, because I know what it means to have a baby. I did it 3 times. It would be a lot for him. The first time having a child, it's the biggest transition in life. everything changes. Becoming a father, I knew some support from outside that is not me telling him would be helpful. I think it was incredibly helpful for him, for all of us, to witness Mana and sit with him. My partner sits behind me, holding me, and I'm holding Mana, and we're listening to Mana and telling him that we're there. And sometimes he's next to me, yeah, and we're just like witnessing him. And even his mother, that was here for 4 weeks now, was sitting with us with Mana, and we were all listening to him and letting him express himself. The sleep and the happiness that comes through that, through allowing the emotions, is so beautiful. Like, it's, you can really see and feel it afterwards. And when we, for whatever reason, don't have the space to give him the space for a few days, sometimes happens, then we feel it. Like, we can all feel it. And also, I do believe that the emotions in a family and the energy in a family, thoughts, emotions, all connected, right? It's all one. They are all transmuted together. If one person is not well, then yes, we can separate ourselves, we can detach, and we can do our own thing. But that's not why we are in a family. When we're in a family, we make a pact that we're in this together. And what that means is that when one person is constantly stressed, the others will be affected by that. So I think it's absolutely crucial, not just in families, but in general. And if people would learn how to manage their emotions and how to release, all of us, the whole world would change. And in the microcosm, in the in families, that is what happens. And for him, that was the beginning of the process. Yeah.
So powerful. And what were the things that you noticed in Mana after you started listening?
The other day, 2 days ago, we listened to him. Like, I listened to him for a whole hour, and he really had a lot to release. And he slept for 8 hours after that. And that was the first time. So he doesn't sleep through the night, but like completely, he's 2 months, but he's sleeping from 8 to 4.
That's remarkable. A lot of parents, especially at 2 months, so many babies are waking up every 2 hours. And that's incredibly exhausting for the parents. So the fact that you get 8 hours of sleep is.
I wish I could go to bed at 8. I'm working on it. But the thing is that when their needs are met, and that also means their emotional need of connection, of really listening to them, also obviously when they're in a good space, not just when they're crying. I believe that for me is also where parenting to be, when he wants to engage, to be there with him when he's laughing and expressing his joy. And so when we do that, then yeah, he sleeps very well. He's calm throughout the day. He wants to connect. I can feel that he feels safe to connect. It builds trust.
Yes, which is so important from being able to do that from such an early age.
I think we did do it from the beginning, but not like perfectly, because we didn't fully know, because then we had a session before you explained, and we listened to you, we watched your video. And then afterwards, we did it from the beginning. We just we had to pick clues and to understand when is he doing it. And then there is some insecurity. And even today, right, like, we just, for everyone who's watching this, we just started this call before, and then he was crying, and I wanted to give him the pacifier, and I know it's not good. But I was like, I just wanted him to, there's still this desire to make things work, you know?
Yeah.
That's one I can work on. But anyway, so I wanted to give him the pacifier, and he didn't want it, and he was crying. And then you suggested to just listen to him, and we did. And to sit with that, to understand the processes that are happening, and to feel more confident in letting him cry and listening to him before he falls asleep as well. And it wasn't long, huh? It was like maybe 15 minutes. He just needed to let out his frustration. And what I wanted to say was, after we had 2 sessions, I think, and also my partner as well. So we really got to learn more about his cues and when he's releasing, and there's still more to learn. You inspired me to look deeper into this. And now I'm going to read the book. So I'm learning more and more about aware parenting. It feels like a missing piece in a puzzle.
Would you like to tell me about the session? What did you notice after I had a session with your partner?
That he came back to more to center to himself, and started exploring this whole topic more and create more awareness around it, and taking responsibility for Mana as well. And understand he wanted to do that before, but he didn't really know how. So I think it created more confidence in him, and yeah, just this desire to be here, to lean in.
Yeah, and that's huge, because just having the confidence and just knowing that we're doing the right thing can really empower us and give us that missing piece. It's so important. It was so important for me and for my partner as well, so I can really relate.
Yeah, so that helps us to become more of a team.
Yes.
And then Mana feels that as well.
Yeah.
But it takes the work, and I think that's what many people just don't know, that if they do that work on themselves, that this session with you was not just about learning about Mana and about crying and about aware parenting, like how to parent him, but it was about awareness, creating awareness for us and parenting ourselves, right? And in that, connecting with our emotional body and with where we are coming from and what's present for us, so we can resource ourselves in order to be able to hold space for our child. Because, and I think that this is a crucial part, and this is where you also have all the tools to actually lead people through these experiences, and it goes beyond aware parenting for me. Like, it maybe we can all put it into that, but you have other tools that you can use to help the parents to be the best parents when it comes to emotional regulation and emotional intelligence as well, in an embodied way, not just the information for that mind, but actually changing something on a holistic level, like on a physical level as well.
Yeah, and I think this, I really truly believe that's 80% of the work, because as parents, if we have so many suppressed feelings and things we haven't said out loud and the things that are sitting in our bodies, it's impossible to have the space to listen to our children and to be there with them and be present with them. So I think 80% of the work is really done on the parents, and there's no shame in processing those feelings that we have, because when we are free from those feelings, we feel so much freedom in our lives in so many ways.
Yeah, and I really believe like to learn how to let go of emotions is crucial. And if you have not learned that as a child, we can only learn it from somebody else. And I know that, so there's so much shame around that. There are so many people that have so much shame around this, and I know because I went through this journey. It took me half a year to really start to feel emotions, and I have a long history of this thing. So it's amazing and incredible when you start to go on this journey, and it's crucial for our children. That's when we change things, and that's how we stay healthy. It's the key for so many things. Yeah, I love that we connected with this, and that I got to learn from you a little bit more, and going back into this more and deeper, having different perspective, focusing on the child and to heal the whole family basically, is so powerful and such a beautiful motivation.
I love that so much. And it's such a pleasure to work with parents who are emotionally attuned. It's a pleasure to work with all parents and really just to help them all, because everyone is at different levels, and wherever they are, I just really aim to meet them at the level they're at.
Yeah.
What was the biggest tangible result from the session that we had?
I think it's really the sleep, the better sleep, and a happier baby. And yeah, just seeing my partner stepping into fatherhood in a different way, and the confidence that we both gained in this. Isn't it funny that methods and systems can give us so much confirmation? It can give us so much confirmation even if we have so much experience. I really have a lot of experience, and to hear from someone else, or from a community basically, because for me where parenting is a community, that it's okay to do what you do, it's right. It confirms your own intuition. And it'd be amazing if we would all be so attuned to our intuition that we could just say, oh, I know that I'm doing everything right. But the reality is that most people don't, that we are all connected. So affirmation, super important. And it's also continuous, like having group meetings where parenting, like what you organize, where we get to share with each other, it helps so much to stay in the loop and to continue to do this work on myself and as a family.
What would you say to someone who doesn't know that much about aware parenting, or they've never given it a try?
To listen together to Mana. I remember sending you a video and you saying, "Oh yeah, that's an emotional release." That confirmation, that's what helped me become more confident. And what I would say to who doesn't know aware parenting, I would say check out Nick's video. Watch the whole thing, because there's so much in there, everything condensed into, I think, 1 hour. So it's worth it. We all have an hour, and it can change your whole life. It can change your whole life. It can change the life of your baby to feel really safe, feel trust, and create a beautiful bond.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I so appreciate your time. And also thank you, Mana, for giving us a space to have a chat.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for your support.